Hey guys, what's up? It's Daniel here, and today I'm going to be doing Project 5 in the SAM 2010 course, and Project 5 starts us off in PowerPoint, and this is what we're going to be making today. It's pretty simple, a 5 slide PowerPoint, and just so you guys can see what I made, 100 out of 100, so hopefully if you follow along on all the steps I do, that's what you'll get. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the SAMS course and go to your assignments, and you're going to click on Project 5. However, I'm going to click on Project 6 because Project 5 isn't available. You're going to click on it, you're going to get this little box, you're going to hit OK. It's going to open up your files, and these on the top is going to be your instructions, and I think there's 4 or 5 different files down here. One is your project file, the actual PowerPoint, and the rest are pictures. So when you click on them, it's going to ask you to decide where you want to save them. So, or it'll download it on this bottom bar if you have it set that way. But anyway, once you've saved them to your specific location that you like it, you're going to open up your actual PowerPoint file, and it's going to look like this. And first thing we're going to do is go up to File on the left, and then we're going to go to Save As. And when you do this, this little box is going to come up, and the name that comes up with it is going to be this long, detailed title. It's actually, I'll show you what mine looks like. Keep in mind that this is going to be a blank slide when you open it, but the title is going to look like that, okay? And at the end of the name, you're going to want to erase any of the digits that are left, and all you want next to your name is an underscore. So it's going to be your name and then an underscore, and then you're going to enter the number 2, and you're going to press save. And you enter the number 2 because Sam uses that as a trace to find the file when you submit it. So make sure you save it with that last number there. And when you're done with that, you're going to press save. I'm just going to exit out of this though. And it's going to save the file. Also, it asks you to verify that your name shows up on the notes, which is down here on the bottom. It says this file was created for Daniel Michael. It should say your name and then has this long digit. Just make sure it says that. You don't have to touch it or move it or anything. It says do not delete, so just don't even worry about that. Just make sure your name shows up. If it doesn't, go back and re-download the file and it should show up then. So let's get started. We're going to start off and it's going to look like this. And it says on slide 1, create a background by inserting the picture called support SC blah 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 castle JPEG. Alright, so this is going to be one of the files that you've downloaded. However, the tricky part about this is it wants us to make the slide, make the background of the slide this picture, which is different from inserting the picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to click just on the slide, not in any of the boxes, but we're going to click just on the slide, right click, and then once we do that, a little menu is going to pop up, and on the bottom we're going to click Format Background, just like that. And when it does that, this box is going to pop up, and since we want to insert a picture, we're going to select this little bubble right here, and when we do that, it's going to go to the default picture. So once we've done that, we want to select a file. So we're going to click the File button, and I'm going to go to where I saved my picture. You can go to where you saved your picture, and I'm just going to switch it because I know it better by the actual image. So this is the one that we want, Castle 1, and when I double click on that, it's going to change the background of the slide so that the actual background is the picture instead of having the picture lay over top of the slide. So once you've selected that picture, we're going to click close, and it's just going to leave it as the background. Number 3 says on slide 1, enter the text or the title text fairy tale trip to Germany. So let's do that. I'm not going to worry about my spelling right now. because this isn't my final version, so I'm just doing this as an example. So don't like copy me word for word or anything, because I'm not gonna spell anything right, or try to anyway. So once we have it typed out, it says apply the word art style fill tan text to outline background to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight what I or what I typed, excuse me, just by clicking at the end of my word line and holding and dragging to the front of it. It's going to highlight it. So now that I've highlighted it, I'm going to want to go to format up here, and it doesn't look like a button just in plain view, but when you leave your mouse over it, it turns into a button. So up top underneath the drawing tools, you're going to click format, and when you do this, there's going to be a menu called word art styles, and in this menu somewhere is going to be tan text outline background 2, and I know it's this one just by because I've done this before, but if you don't know which one it is, just leave your mouse hovering over whatever it is and it'll come up with the name, and until you find this one. It's in the top left for me. It doesn't look tan, but I guess it is. So I'm going to click that once I found the right one, and it's going to change my text to that tan text 2 outline background 2. Next thing it asks us to do is increase the font size to 60 points. So still having my text highlighted, or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to go to the home menu, and underneath the font menu, I'm going to go to the font size and click the arrow next to it, and I'm going to select 60 when the menu drops down. So once I've done that, my text will grow a little bit, and it says change the text transformation, change the text fill to papyrus texture. So now we have to go back to this format button up here, so I click that, and again in the word art styles menu, there's a button up on the top that says text fill. Next to it's a little arrow. I'm going to click that, and it wants me to insert the papyrus texture. So on the very bottom, it wants me to bring up textures, and when I just leave my mouse hovering over that, this little menu is going to pop up with all these different textures, and I want to select papyrus. And again, I can find that just by leaving my mouse over it, and then the name will pop up. However, I know that it's the top left, so I'm just going to click that. And when I do that, you'll see that the inside of my text has changed a little bit. And then it says change the text outline weight to 1.5 point. So once I've selected the texture for the inside of my text, it will disappear, the little box that was up, and I want to go to text outline. So up here, I'm going to click the little arrow just to the right of it, and I'm going to go to weight on the bottom, and it wants 1.5 point, which is right there. And when I do that, it's going to thicken the outer edge of my text just a little bit. It also wants us to apply the transformation text effect arch up in the follow path area. So to do this, again under the word art menu up here, I'm going to go to text effect, and it says use the transform text effect. So down here, I'm going to go to the bottom where it says transform, and I'm going to look for the follow path, which is right here, and in that path I'm going to find arch up, which is this one, I believe. Yes, again, when you leave your mouse over it, the name will pop up, so just double check yourself, and then I'm going to click it, and it's going to give my text this little slightly curved upward look, and that is what that asks us to do, so that's good. It then wants us to position the word art near the top of the slide, and it says note, insert the title text directly into the title content placeholder. Do not. Okay, so just ignore that. If you've done everything the way I've just shown you, you don't have to worry about that. But now to move the text up towards the top of the slide, you'll see this box that you've been working in. This is your title box, and to move what is in our title box, which is our text, up towards the top, we're going to click this little center square. It's right below the green dot, and when we hover over it, it's going to turn into, our mouse is going to turn into this up or down arrow. And so by clicking and holding on this little box, I can move this top line upward, which is what I want to do because I want to position my text towards the top. So when I click and drag and drop, it'll move towards the top just by moving down and moving down and moving up, just like that same kind of motion. So it wants it towards the top, which is going to look a little bit like that, I think. Close enough, as long as it's in the top section of the slide. Sam won't count it wrong. So after doing that, we want to create slide 2 with the to content layout. So to create a new slide, what I'm going to do over here in this slide menu is I'm going to click underneath the slide that I've already been working on, and then this black flashing line comes up. And when I see that, I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, and it's going to create a new slide for me. It wants this slide to be in the to content layout. So once I've created it, I want to go up to here underneath my slides menu, and there's a button on the top that says layout. I'm going to click the right arrow next to it, and it's going to drop down, and it wants to content. So underneath here, I'm going to find to content right there. It says it right underneath it, and I'm going to click that. And when I do that, you'll see the second box came up here on the right, and that is now the format of our slide. Enter the title and content shown in the typed notes in figure 1. So up on the top, we're going to enter the title, which is Small Town, 2 Castles. So again, I'm not going to try to spell everything right, so don't follow me word for word, just do what it says. And then it wants us to do Fussen, Germany, I guess is how that's pronounced, maybe not, I don't know, I don't really care. So I'm going to type that in. Make sure you type it exactly word for word as the instructions say. And even some of the words in Word will come up as misspelled, but double check to make sure you spelled it just as the instructions say, and if it comes up wrong, just leave it. So once we've done that, it actually doesn't tell you to do this in the instructions, but you can see it in the actual example that you have. But underneath Fuschen Germany, I'm going to hit enter, and then there's going to be this little, it's a different type of bullet, it's a line. So to do that, I just pressed enter, and now I'm going to hit tab, and when I do that, it's going to turn into that little line. And I'm going to type foothills of Bavarian Alps or whatever. And once I have that typed, I'm going to hit enter again, and it's automatically going to go back to that bullet that I just made with the line. So I'm going to type the next one, and once I've done that, that's how it looks in our example, with the title at the top and the 2 different types of bullet lists. And then it says on the right slide, on the right side of slide 2, insert the picture called Castle 2 JPEG. So another picture that you've downloaded, and to do this is going to be easy. I already have this menu in the middle here, which is automatic, and on the bottom left it says insert picture from file, which is what I want. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to bring up my pictures that I downloaded. If you put them in the same spot, it should do that to you. If not, go find it in the spot that you saved it, and it wants the Castle 2 picture, which is that one for me. And once I've inserted that, just by double clicking on it, it wants us to apply the bevel perspective picture style. So again, actually now this is a new menu, and it's already, for me, it's already selected under format, but if it's not, make sure you click format, and it'll open up this different styles for you. So under picture styles, it wants the bevel perspective. So I'm not real sure which one it is. It's got to be one of these. There it is, right there on the bottom left corner. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to change my picture to the bevel perspective, which is kind of neat. Once we've done that, it says resize the picture so that it is 4.5 inches in height and 6 inches wide. So on the same menu here under my format, I'm going to go to the top right under height, and I can either use these arrows to change it, or I can type it in, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to type 4.5, and then I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to make the picture grow a little bit. And then I want 6 wide, and it actually already it automates the length and width, but if it doesn't do that for you, make sure that you switch the width to 6. But since it's done that automatically, I don't have to. So it says change the border color to standard purple. So now, under the picture styles, there's a button up on the top right that says picture border, and to the right of that there's a little arrow. I'm going to click that, and it wants standard purple. So underneath the standard colors menu, there's purple in the far right side, so I'm going to click that, and then it says change the border weight to 6 points. So now that I've selected purple, you can barely see that the outline's purple, but we're going to change that right now. I'm going to click the arrow again that I just clicked to bring up the colors, and on the bottom I'm going to click weight, or I'm not going to click weight, I'm going to leave my mouse hovering over weight, and it's going to drop down to this menu right here, and it wants us to change it to 6 point, which is on the very bottom for me. So I click that, and now you can see the purple border a little bit better. Then it asks us to position the picture so that it is in the lower right part of the slide. So I'm just going to, in the center of the picture, I'm just going to click and hold and drag like so. And it's kind of funky because when you're actually moving it, it changes the perspective back to if it was just straight on, but when you release it, it goes back sideways. So you'll have to play with that, but you'll figure it out, and I guess it wants it close to what that looks like. So as long as it's in the bottom right corner, like I said, it should be counted as correct. Okay, we're going to create slide 3 now, and again we're going to click under the slide we just made. The little black line is going to pop up. I'm going to hit enter, and now I've created my new slide, and it says it wants us to use the to content layout. Mine's already formatted as that. If yours isn't, you're going to go back up to the layout button and select to content, and it should be changed to that. So it says enter the title and content shown in typed notes in figure 2. So we're going to look at figure 2 and type what it says in. For the title, it says some crazy Nusa Chakawatin something another castle. So do that. And once I've done that, again, I don't know, like I'm not really trying to spell everything exactly word for word as it says on my instructions, but you definitely should if you're going to be submitting this, so make sure you do that exactly the way it has it typed. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to type the bulleted list. So from going to the title, I'm just clicking down into this box to the left, and that's going to already automatically make my bulleted list. So I'm just going to type in name, woo, and when I've typed my first one in, it's going, when I get to the end, I'm going to click enter, and it's just going to make automatically a second bullet, which is what it wants us to do in this one. And then I'm going to type the next one. For the number 2, when you do King Ludwig 2, it's just 2 capital I's like that. So it's not L's or anything. If that confuses you, it's just 2 capital I's. So now that we have our bulleted list as shown, it says on the right side of slide 3, insert the picture called Castle 3. So again, I'm gonna click this little button that says insert picture from file on the bottom left, and when I do that, it's gonna bring up my pictures again, and I'm going to select the Castle 3 one, which I can see right there. It says Castle 3. So I'm going to double click that, and it's going to insert my picture automatically. And once I do that, it says apply the reflective bevel black picture style. So under format, it wants picture styles. So I'm going to click this little arrow here, and it's going to drop down, and it wants the reflected bevel black. So which is that one for me right there. But again, you just got to leave your mouse over the picture styles to see the name. So I want that one, and I'm going to click it, and it's going to place the border around my picture. And then it says change the color to standard green, the border color. So I'm going to go back up to picture border, click the little arrow to the right of it, and it wants standard green, which is that one. And don't be confused, this one doesn't say change the weight of the outline to 6 or 0 or anything. But when you do this, it's going to automatically come up as 6 because that's the last one that you used. Remember when we changed the weight of this outline to 6? It's going to automatically do that to that picture. So even though it doesn't say that in the directions, it's correct. So some kids had questions about this in class, and I did too. And when I submitted, I just left it the way that it automatically came up, and it came up as right. So don't worry about the outline if that messes you up. It's not going to. So it says create slide 4 with the picture caption layout. Okay, so now we're going to click underneath the slide 3, get the black flashing line, hit enter, and it wants to make the picture with caption layout. So we're going to go up to layout, click the arrow to the right of it, and underneath here there's one that says picture with caption, and I'm going to click that one, and it's going to change the layout of my PowerPoint at this time. And then it wants me to type in my head or my title and my captions. So let's go ahead and do that. My title is going to be here where it says click to add title. So I just click and then I start typing my title. And once I've typed in my title, I'm going to click to add my caption, which is down beneath it, and then I just type that in. So again, you want to type it word for word as it says. I'm not trying to type exactly for the example, but once you've done that, you should have your title and your caption. And then it wants us to insert the picture called Castle 4. So that's all we can do up here. It's this center button that says insert picture from file. Click it. Again, the little box with my pictures comes up, and I'm going to double click on the Castle 4 picture, and when I do that, it's going to automatically insert it. So now that I have my picture in it, it wants me to apply the beveled oval black picture style. So just having my picture selected just by clicking on it, I can go to the format options, and under picture styles, we're going to look for beveled oval black. So it's going to be an oval, it's going to be beveled, so I can kind of know what it's going to look like, but there it is right there. I can see the name popped up, so I'm going to click it, and it's going to change my picture and how it looks. And it also wants me to change the border color to standard blue, so now I'm going to go back up to the border color button and hit the arrow, and it wants standard blue, which is that one. It just comes up as blue, so I click that, it changes the color. And then it changed the border weight to 6 points. So under my picture border, I'm going to go back down to weight, and I'm going to select 6 point. And now my border is beveled oval black, changed to blue, standard blue, and it's 6 point weight. So create slide 5 next, again by clicking underneath slide 4, hitting enter, and it wants us to have the picture with captions. So for me, I have it set up so it automatically does that, my last format, but if yours doesn't, go back to layout and click the picture with caption again, and then and then type in your title here, your caption here, and you should be good to go. Once I have my title, I'm going to start working on my caption, and it wants me to type Castle of High Swan Country, and then I hit enter just to go right to the line underneath it, and then I type in childhood home of King Ludwig II. So I'm going to type that just by pressing enter. So once I have my title and my caption in 2 separate lines, it wants me to insert the picture called Castle 5 JPEG. So I'm going to click the center insert picture button again, and I'm going to click the Castle 5, which is that one. And when I do that, it's going to insert that picture, and then it asks me to apply the moderate frame black picture style. So again, under my picture styles, I'm going to look for moderate frame black, which is that one, and I'm going to click it, and it's going to change my picture style, and then it says change the border color to standard purple. So I'm going to click the arrow next to picture border, and it wants purple, so I'm going to click purple, and then change the border weight to 6 points. So again, under border, I'm going to go to weight, and I'm going to click 6, and it's going to, for me, it decreased the size of my border to 6 point. And then it says for both slides 4 and 5, increase the text, or yeah, the title text size to 28. So for 4 and 5, it wants me to increase the text size in the title. So I'm going to highlight my title. I got to click on it first, and it'll open up the box, and then I'm going to highlight it. And under the font, under home menu, under the font category, it wants 28 points. So I click the font size and I go to 28, and it enlarges my title just a little bit. And then it says change the caption size to 24. So I'm gonna click the caption box and highlight my couple of sentences, and then it wants me to change it to 24 under the font again, and it wants me to do this to 4 and 5. So now that I've done it to 5, I'm going to go back to 4 and do it also. So highlight, font size 28 for title, click highlight, font size for caption is 24. So now that both 4 and 5 have been changed, it says on slide 2, change the title font to Algerian or Georgia if Algerian is not installed. So on slide 2, my title, they want me to change, so I'm going to highlight it, and under my font face, I'm going to click the arrow next to it, and it wants me to change it to Algerian, which it's in alphabetical order, so it's this one. And if you don't have this one installed, it says use Georgia. So I'm just going to click that one, and it's going to make my title look this cool design type thing. And then it says change the color to standard purple. So still having my title highlighted, I'm going to go to font color, which is the A with a red line underneath it, and I'm going to click the arrow next to it, and it's going to drop down, and it wants it in standard purple. So that's on the bottom, the far bottom right for me. I don't know if it's the same for you, but I'm going to click that, and it's going to change the color of the text, and then it wants us to bold the text also. So still having it highlight, I'm going to go up to the font menu, and there's a B, and if I leave my mouse over it, I can see that it says bold. So I'm just going to click that, and it's going to thicken how that looks. So apply these formatting changes to slide 3 text as well. Hint, use the format painter. Okay, when it says use the format painter, the format painter is a tricky and not foolproof tool, so I didn't use it and I still got 100%. If you want to use it, it's right here, and basically what it does is if I highlight my the text that I just did it and I clicked format painter, it would copy everything that I just did. You'll see there's a little paintbrush next to my mouse now. It copied all the formatting styles I just did for this one, and so it's made to make it easier for you to change the format style of the next slide, which I think is, yeah, slide 3 also. So I don't know if it's going to do it or not, but it messes up sometimes. So if it doesn't, yeah, see, it just did half of that word when I double clicked on it. So you can either do that and go back to this one and click the format painter again, and then go back to this one and click castle, and it'll change it just like that. Or you can just highlight the whole thing and change it to bold and Algarian and the color and everything separately. Either way it's fine, but format painter is just kind of a pain in the ass. So once we've changed both of the titles in slide 2 and 3 to this purple bold Algarian style, it wants us on the lower left side of the slide, insert vertical scroll shape. So on slide 3, it wants us to insert a scroll shape. So now I'm going to go to the insert menu on the top here, and it wants us to go to shapes. So I'm going to click the arrow underneath shapes, and under here there's going to be this scrolls under the stars and banners, and I want a vertical scroll, so I'm going to select that. And when I do that, my mouse is going to change to this little X, and wherever I click, the scroll is going to appear. So I'm just going to click right here, and the scroll appeared. Let me just mark off how far I'm going along on these instructions, because I seem to go back up and reread things that I've already done. So once we've inserted the vertical scroll shape, it wants us to then apply the subtle effect purple accent 4. So having this shape selected by clicking on it, I want to go up here to format again, and it doesn't look like a button, it's just a word, but when I leave my mouse over it, it turns into a button. I'm going to click it, and under my shape styles now, over here to the left a little bit, I'm going to click the drop down arrow, and it wants me to find subtle effect purple accent 4, which I think is this one. Yeah, so find that in here, again by finding the name, and click it, and it's going to change the color and the style of our shape. It says type text inspiration of Disney's Sleeping Beauty Castle. Okay, so to do this, we're going to right click on our shape, and we're going to click edit text. And when you do this, our little cursor is going to pop up, and we're going to start typing in inspiration for Disney blah 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 blah. So as I'm typing, you can see that it's splitting up my words and putting them on separate lines because the shape is too small to hold all of them. Don't worry about this for right now. Just keep typing in what the instructions say word for word, and let the shape keep doing its thing. Like it keeps on separating my words on different lines because the words are too big. Because we're going to fix that in just a second, but just for now, type out what it says and let it fall off. And it's going to keep doing that. It's kind of stupid, but... So now that I've typed it, it's going to look like this, and it's retarded how it's set up, but it just does. So now that you've typed it out, it wants us to change the font to Curls MT. So I'm going to highlight my text just like this, which is also retarded looking. And then I'm going to go to home, and under my font face, I'm going to click the arrow and find Curls MT under C. Which is that one, and when I find it, I click it, and it changes it to this freaky looking font. It says or Cosmic Sans MS if curl's not installed on your computer. So if it's not installed, find Cosmic Sans MS and select it. And then it says bold this text and change the color to standard dark blue. So still having the text highlight, I'm going to press the B for bold. And now I'm going to go to colors, my font colors again, and it wants me to click standard blue, which is, standard dark blue, which is that one. So I'm going to click that. It's going to change the color, and then it says change the size to 28 points. So under my font, again, I'm going to go to the font size and hit 28, which looks like that. So now it's really messed up, and I don't know why Sam's hasn't fixed this part yet. It should make you do the last step first and then type everything in so it doesn't look freaking retarded. But now it wants us to change the scroll shape size width to 2.75 and the height to 2.75, and this is going to fix how all this falls off everything. So having my scroll, clicking on my scroll, I'm going to click the format up at the top again, and under my sizes over here in the top right corner, I'm going to type in 2.75, or I can use the arrows to do it. So either way, make sure you switch it to 2.75 height and width, and now you can see that since that changed, everything fits on that scroll nice and neatly, just like the example shows. It says type the text directly into the vertical scroll shape that you created. Do not create a separate content placeholder. So just do what I did, and you shouldn't have any problems. So just looking at my example, I can see that the shape is kind of up here. So I'm going to move it and reposition it a little bit so it looks kind of more in place. And now that I've changed my scroll height and width, it wants us to, on slide 2, 3, 4, and 5, change the background style to white marble fill texture. It says row 2 of column 5. So in our earlier slide, on my earlier tutorial slideshow, I showed you how to select multiple files at the same time. I'll show you how to do that again in this one. Basically, it wants me to, on slides 2 through 5, it wants me to add a white marble fill texture. So what I'm going to do to select all the slides from 2 to 5 is I'm going to click on 5. And when I click on it, you'll see that this orange border comes up. That means that slide is selected. And now on my keyboard, I'm going to hold Shift down, and I'm going to keep holding it down, and I'm going to click I'm going to click slide 2 in the presentation. And when I do that, I'm going to let go of Shift now, and it's going to select all slides 2 through 5, and I can do this with any of these slides if I use my Shift key. And basically Shift lets you select multiple slides at the same time. So again, click the last slide you want, hold Shift, and then select the first slide you want, and it'll highlight everything in between that. If you want to click multiple slides in a project and you don't want, say, one in the middle, to do that you hold Control down on your keyboard. So if I was to hold Control, I could click on that slide and then it would be unselected, or I could click on that slide. You could also click all 4 slides using Control and it would highlight all 4, but Shift is just easier. So once you've selected those 4 slides, it wants us to change the background style to white marble fill texture. So once I have my 4 slides selected, I'm going to just over here on this menu, I'm going to right click on any of the slides. Since they're all selected, I'm just going to right click on any of them, and we did this in the beginning. We're going to go to Format Background. Okay, and when we click that, it's going to open up this box, and we want to fill the background with a texture. So I'm going to select this little bubble next to Picture or Texture Fill, and it's going to change the texture background of all 4 of these slides. So I want it to go to marble or white marble. So right beside where it says texture, there's a drop down arrow and a picture. I'm going to click that arrow and I'm going to select white marble. And when I click that, it's going to change all of these 4 slides backgrounds to white marble. And when I do that, it wants me to change the transparency to 35%. So still having this box left up, I changed it to white marble, and underneath the bottom here, there's a little scrolly bar, and it's right next to that says transparency. So I'm just going to click and drag the scrolly bar to 35%. And I can use these arrows too if it's easier. And once I've done that, it says, note, do not change the background style of the slide master, only the background style of slides 2, 3, 4, and 5. So don't make sure you didn't apply the marble style to the first slide because we've already put that other picture in. So don't click apply to all, in other words. So now that I've changed the background to white marble and I've changed my transparency to 35%, I can click close now. And the last thing it wants me to do is apply the glitter transition to all slides. So now, I'll show you this again. You can click away here. I still have these 4 selected. How to deselect them is you just click away and you'll see that they'll all be unhighlighted. So now I'm going to click the bottom slide, and it wants me to make a transition to all my slides. So I'm going to hold shift down again, and I'm going to click all of them, and it's going to select all of them. So on the top, I'm going to go to the transitions menu, and up here my transitions, and I'm going to click this drop down arrow, and under here there's one that says glitter, which is right here, and I'm going to click that. And when I do that, it'll automatically show you what it looks like, and it'll also come up with these little shooting star signs beside each slide. That means that all of the slides have this same transition. So now that I've done that, it wants me to change the duration to 4.5 on all slides. So still having all of my slides selected, over here under the timing menu, there's a button that says duration, and next to it there's a little column with timing in it. It wants me to switch it to 4.5, so I'm going to use these arrows and change it to 4.5, and now all of the durations of the transitions are 4.5. It says your presentation should look like the final figure below, so double check all your spelling and all your picture spacing and everything to what your examples look like. Make sure the pictures are in the right spot generally, and the spelling is just how it says on the example, and your backgrounds are the same, and everything should be good to go. I hope you guys found this helpful, and if you did, go ahead and like and subscribe. I will be doing the rest of the Sam's course projects later on down the road. So I also don't just do these Sam's projects, so if you have something specific you want to learn in any of the Microsoft programs, go ahead and send me a message, and I'll do my best to make a tutorial on it if I know how. And anything really about computers, I'm pretty good at. I built my own computer, so if you have any questions about computers or security or just really anything, send me a message and I will try to make a tutorial on it. But I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you get a good grade. So now you're going to save your file one more time so that all of your changes have been saved to that file that we saved in the beginning, and then you're going to go back to your Sam's course and you're going to click submit and browse and select the file that you were just working on, and then submit, and you can go get your results underneath the results button. So alright, well, I will see you guys next time.